Welcome to a roundtable discussion at St. Joe's House of Hospitality, a Rochester Catholic worker community. St. Joe's has been in continuous operation since 1935. My name is Martin Linskey. I'm a volunteer at St. Joe's, and our topic tonight is the common thread of hospitality. With me today are three exceptional young men who are serving the homeless, the hungry, and the marginalized at St. Joe's on a daily basis. These three staff members are all the same age, 24 years old, but each one represents a different religion. Eli Woodbeck is a Catholic who hails from Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Dani Shneyer is a practicing Jew from Rockville, Maryland. And Kevin Marshall is a Muslim who hails from Houston, Texas. The setup for this discussion sounds a little bit like a joke. A Jew, a Muslim, and a Christian walk into a homeless shelter. What isn't a joke is the great work that these three very wise guys have provided to the guests of this community. What is interesting is that these three men of different religions are working together as part of the St. Joe's team. It occurred to me that they may have a lesson that they could share with us about the common threads that weave our society together. One of the threads is the concept of hospitality. What does hospitality mean in the context of your religion? That's the question. I'd like to start with Eli. Eli, why is hospitality so important in the Christian tradition and in the Rochester Catholic worker movement?
Well, it seems that when Jesus was speaking and preaching the Sermon on the Mount, that one of the things that was central to that were what Peter Morin and Dorothy Day have kind of really brought into the Catholic work, and that's the works of mercy. Feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, giving drink to the thirsty, and that these are things that we should be doing to strangers as well as to our friends and family, and that, as Jesus said, when you do these for the least of my brothers, you're doing that for me as well. And I think that's a solid foundation to build this concept of hospitality, and to bringing that specifically to hospitality in the Catholic worker movement.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Dani, how about you? Do you think that there's a connection there in terms of hospitality?
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to share some passages I got here. This is from the book Pirkei Avot, and it says here, Rabbi Yosef ben Yochanan, he would say, let's see if I can find it, treat the poor as members of your household. And also I got some other passages that are pretty inspiring for me in terms of hospitality. In Isaiah chapter 58, God's talking about doing such things as letting the oppressed go free, and breaking off every yoke, and sharing. I think this translation says sharing your bread with the hungry, but I've also seen it translated, I think, as giving your soul to the hungry. Yeah, so that's definitely like a huge value. Yeah, so that's about it.
Kevin, I wonder if you could share some thoughts on this issue from your tradition.
Sure. Well, according to a translation of the Holy Quran, in English there is a chapter called the neighborly needs or neighborly assistance, and it reads as this: seest thou one who denies the judgment to come? Then such is the man who repulses the orphan with harshness and encourages not the feeding of the indignant. So woe to the worshippers who are neglectful of their prayers, those who want but to be seen of men or only by men, but refuse to supply even neighborly needs. And so the concept of hospitality in the Islamic tradition is that we're all neighbors. There's a brotherly and sisterly connection with all of people, all of mankind, and really all of creation. And so we're required to be hospitable towards everybody, and it's directly tied to, I guess, our standing after we die. It's whether or not we were we treated the person next to us like a neighbor. And that's really the basis of that belief is actually in our scriptures. So.